evening, everybody. I think everybody knows who I am, but if you don't, I am Gary Mechtin. I'm the city manager here in Farmington Hills, and I am so happy that you are able to attend this evening's 47th annual, it's a long time, 47th annual Employee Recognition Service Awards. You know, Farmington Hills is a pretty special place to work. I think I've shared that with a lot of you and my feelings. It's not just because I grew up here or because I'm the city manager. So it's a privilege to lead this team. We're innovators, we're a diverse group, we're young, we're old, we come from a lot of different backgrounds and we bring a lot of different things to the table. And as the head of this organization, I think I've said this to my department heads, I don't know how many times, I can't do this on my own. Each one of you and your teams are subject matter experts at what you do. So tonight, we recognize our employees of the year for their service and their outstanding contributions to this organization. And with that, I'm going to introduce our mayor, Teresa Rich.
It is just such a pleasure to be here celebrating the employees who bring vision to life every day in Farmington Hills. I'm a longtime Farmington Hills resident, 32 years to be exact. Brian and I raised our 2 kids here. It was just the best place to raise a family. And some of you have been here even longer than that. I truly think that Farmington Hills is the best community to call home. And that's largely thanks to the work that all of you do. And what you do for the community makes our city even more of a destination than it already was. What you're doing tomorrow will continue that work as well. And you do it bringing joy and optimism and reinforcing resilience. And those are great qualities to have in a city. So in addition to celebrating some of the city's outstanding employees tonight, we're also recognizing the service of our long-standing employees, some of whom have been supporting our city even longer than my family has been calling Farmington Hills home. Elsie is the longest serving city employee being recognized tonight with 35 remarkable years of service. Thank you. Elsie is a park laborer in the Special Services Department, and she is known as the force behind Heritage Park and the visionary behind the annual holiday lights display at City Hall that we all absolutely love and is something that people look forward to every year. Will all the other service award winners please stand to be recognized? Whether you're celebrating 5, 10, 20 or more years with the city, I want to personally thank you for choosing Farmington Hills. Thank you for your continued commitment to excellence. Human Resources has a certificate for each of you to commemorate this milestone. So, now for the awards that we've all been waiting for, I'd like to introduce Fire Marshal Jason Beloga to present the Firefighter of the Year Award.
Good evening. I'm presenting the 2023 Firefighter of the Year Award on behalf of Chief Unruh. Inspector Beacom was selected as the 2023 recipient. Before joining the Farmington Hills Fire Department, Sean shaped the bright young minds of the future for 14 years as a high school teacher. Looking into his file, this is what we found. Sean started as a recruit firefighter in 2016, where he completed the necessary training to become a paid-on-call firefighter. During this process, Sean earned the award of Recruit Firefighter of the Year. In October 2020, Sean gained additional advanced life support training to earn his paramedic license, which allowed him to become a full-time or career firefighter working for the department. In the spring of 2022, a vacancy within the Fire Prevention Division became available working for the Fire Marshal's office. Sean took this opportunity where he gained the following additional qualifications to assume the role of his new position. He graduated from the Michigan State Police Fire Investigation School and the City of Detroit Arson Investigation School. Sean has also earned a Pro Board Fire Investigator certificate a State of Michigan Fire Investigation certification, and also completed the National Fire Academy's Youth Fire Setting Behavior Interventionist program. He is credentialed with the National Fire Protection Association certifications for Inspector 1 and 2, which allows him to also be registered as a State of Michigan Act 407 code official. Sean also recently completed the State of Michigan Fire Officer 1 and 2 program, which includes extensive leadership training. His credentials speak for themselves, and his initiative goes above and beyond. Sean is one of the department's car seat technicians, a peer support team member, and also oversees the charity committee. In 2023, Sean put his teaching background to use, reviving the fall assembly program that had been paused due to multiple retirements and COVID-19. Inspector Beacom developed a new fire safety age-appropriate curriculum and presented the lessons to 13 elementary schools across Farmington Public School System, Clarenceville School District, and private schools in our area. Over 5,000 students and 240 adults benefited from the program's relaunch last year. In 2023, he also secured a $10,000 grant to assist the department with electric vehicle-related emergencies. As a resident of Farmington, Sean is always on duty, representing his community even when he's not in uniform. He's always willing to help community members and assist with special projects when needed. Since most fire investigations don't happen during business hours, I'd also like to commend Sean on his readiness to contribute, as he has either led or assisted with over 50 fire investigations since he's assumed his new role. In the beginning of my speech, I mentioned that Sean helped shape the bright minds of the future. As a matter of fact, he's standing next to one of his students right now. Mr. Beacom was my teacher in high school. We have many hardworking firefighters in the Farmington Hills Fire Department, and today it's my pleasure to recognize Inspector Sean Beacom.
But before we hear from our award winner and inspector, pardon the interruption, Senator Breen was able to make it through the road repairs. So introducing State Representative Kelly Breen with a commendation for the inspector.
Thank you. I appreciate the promotion, but it is representative. And so, Inspector Beacom, I have something for you signed by the entire Farmington Hills delegation, all 3 state representatives, the 2 state senators. Thank you so much for everything you've done on behalf of the community.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, distinguished guests, it's a high honor for me to stand here this evening and address this crowd. And as I stood here and listened to Fire Marshal Beloga, as I knew him 20 years ago as Jason, as I hear him list these accomplishments, I can't help but kind of laugh at myself and think, an old man my age, somebody my age, should have some of these on his resume by now, but here we are. So all kidding aside, I see this award truly as an award that represents the people around you. And for me, that starts with my with my family, my beautiful wife, Jessica, my daughter, Claire, my son, Ben. Thank you. I love you. To Chief Unruh, who couldn't be here this evening, Deputy Chief Olszewski, Fire Marshal Beloga, Jason. I appreciate you guys taking a chance on me and giving me this opportunity and supporting me all along. And then lastly, to my cohorts, my brothers and sisters at the fire department who aren't here this evening, many of whom aren't here this evening. It's an honor for me to stand amongst you. This award is about what we all do day in and day out. So with that, I say thank you. Appreciate it.
Good evening. Good evening. It is my honor to present to all of you the 2023 Police Officer of the Year, Officer Alexander Aqualine, which I would like to invite up at this time. Officer Alexander Aqualine began his career with the Farmington Hills Police Department in October 2022, when he made the excellent decision to leave the Canton Police Department after 4.5 years where he served in the Patrol Division and as an operator on Western Wayne SWAT. Officer Aqualine attended the University of Michigan, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Behavioral Science with a minor in Criminal Justice in 2017. Officer Aqualine has been selected as the Farmington Hills Police Department 2023 Police Officer of the Year due to his outstanding police work, which serves as an illustration of the exceptional service that the men and women of the Farmington Hills Police Department provide every day to our community without prejudice or partiality. The following specific incidents highlight the amazing work Officer Aqualine performed in 2023. And they may sound a little bit grouped, but this is an actual timeline, so go with it. In January, Officer Aqualine conducted an investigatory stop of a suspect, resulting in the recovery of a loaded illegal handgun and the admission by that suspect that he was intentionally and illegally carrying that loaded pistol. Later that same month, Officer Aqualine conducted another investigatory stop of a vehicle and a suspect inside, resulting in the recovery of another illegally loaded shotgun and several additional rounds of ammunition. Officer Aqualine was able to obtain a full confession from the suspect under Miranda, in which the suspect confessed not only to being a convicted felon, but intentionally carrying that loaded shotgun for unlawful purposes. In May of 2023, Officer Aqualine conducted a third investigatory stop of a vehicle and a suspect, where he discovered the suspect had an outstanding warrant for larceny from an area community. While searching that suspect, Officer Aqualine located an illegally loaded handgun and several packets of narcotics on her person. Again in May, Officer Aqualine conducted a fourth investigatory stop, where he discovered the suspect was armed with a loaded illegal handgun he was attempting to conceal in his vehicle. This handgun was reported stolen in 2012 from a home in an area jurisdiction. Then in July of 2023, our dispatch center received a 911 call from a resident indicating that she was watching 2 to 3 males, suspects, rifling through her vehicle and other vehicles in the lot of their complex. Upon arrival, Officer Aqualine interrupted the suspects, confronting them as they were attempting to exit the vehicle and flee. Officer Aqualine announced his presence, and the suspects all fled in different directions. Officer Aqualine was able to arrest one of the suspects and relay critical information to area units responding. And with that information, those additional units were able to establish a perimeter and locate and arrest those 2 remaining suspects. Then in September of 2023, officers were dispatched to an individual stabbing another individual in an apartment. Upon arrival, officers were met by several young children holding the apartment door open for officers, who then advised the officers their mother's boyfriend was inside stabbing. Their mother's boyfriend was being attacked by their father inside and actively stabbing him. Officers located the mother, made sure she was safe, alerted them to the location of the suspect. The suspect was safely taken into custody. The officers immediately rendered aid to the victim, who was suffering from 4 massive stab wounds to his chest. Officers, including Officer Aqualine, without hesitation, began to treat this and seal the wounds to prevent the victim from bleeding out. Officer Aqualine utilized his personal medical kit to stop the victim's bleeding and was directly responsible for the critical actions that saved that victim's life. Finally, in December, Officer Aqualine responded to a 72-year-old male resident of Farmington Hills who was not breathing and had no pulse. Upon his arrival, Officer Aqualine initiated CPR and reestablished a pulse, supporting the victim until our fire department medics arrived, assumed care, and transported the man. Officer Aqualine's quick actions were directly responsible for saving that man's life. In the year 2023, Officer Aqualine was awarded 2 life-saving awards, 4 individual citations of meritorious service, 2 unit citations, and 1 letter of appreciation. This outstanding collection of work is why Officer Aqualine, in combination with his other skills, knowledge, and abilities, was recently selected as one of our new K-9 officers and recognized as the City of Farmington Hills Police Officer of the Year. Congratulations, sir.
And adding to the commendations, we have remarks from State Representative Kelly Breen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's nothing I can say that would trump any of that. So I will only say that I hope I am never in need of your personal services. But if I am, I know I will be in good hands. So thank you so much for your service.
I am honored to accept this award today. Many of my fellow officers did exceptional work last year, so I'm thankful to be standing here. After working for other municipalities, I can honestly say that coming to Farmington Hills was the best career choice that I could have made. Not only the police department, but every other department that I've seen work and worked with, they're great at what they do, and I think it makes the whole city very efficient. What I also found is it makes coming to work very easy and more enjoyable when it kind of feels like a second family. So I got to thank everybody here, because our PD wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't for everybody. Thank you, Chief King, for not only keeping us operational, but making sure we are always evolving and getting better as the world changes. Thank you, City Council, for supporting us and allowing us to do what we do and provide the quality of service that the city deserves. And thank you, Chief, City Manager, for making it the best run city in the area. So, and of course, my family, thank you for the motivation and the constant support at all times. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce Director Nguyen, Communications and Community Engagement, for the first Outstanding Employee Award. Director Nguyen.
Thank you, Chief King. And before I get started, I just want to acknowledge the previous honorees and acknowledge all of our elected officials in the room this evening. It's so nice to see everyone. All right. As Chief King mentioned, I am Vicki Nguyen, the Director of Communications and Community Relations for the city. Our department is the newest department, so I'm super proud to be standing here because we have our nominee this evening and we have honorable mention in Laura Cindy. So our team rocked it out, so I'm really proud of everyone on the team this evening. So thank you all for being here, my team members. Tonight it's my pleasure to present an award to one of the city's outstanding employees. Paul, if you would, please join me at the front. So as I mentioned, Paul is a valued member of the city's communications and community engagement team. He has served the city faithfully for more than 20 years. Paul is a video production specialist focused on educating the community through moving images. Paul's work is vital toward ensuring community members' awareness of key city matters through meticulous live coverage of council and planning commission meetings on the city's YouTube channel and cable channel. As a matter of fact, Paul is so dedicated that when he leaves here this evening, he will be headed to City Hall to, again, make sure that the community sees and is aware of the goings on with Planning and Planning Commission. Paul also makes sure that the city's events and activities, both large and small, are captured and shared on the city's social channels, highlighting events like Open Mic Night at the Caustic Activity Center and the annual Fall Open House, or cultural arts events like the unveiling of the Makerspace Interactive Wall at the Hawk, just to name a few. Prior to joining Farmington Hills, Paul's technical skills were honed as a videographer at Detroit Public Television. His attention to detail and exceptional work, his work ethic shines through in all that he does. He's very creative and often looks for ways to enhance the city's YouTube viewership with new programs like Farmington Hills Working for You, which many of you have already taped your segment. Paul takes his civic duties very seriously. Over the past year, one of Paul's dearest and closest family members, and I did get permission to share parts of this story, his dearest family members navigated a very serious health concern. Paul never missed a beat and somehow managed to prioritize his family's needs and the community's needs, often taping events multiple times a month and sometimes well past midnight for the public's viewing. Another example of Paul's selflessness is when the DEI Council needed a representative from my department, and Paul volunteered. His volunteerism benefits us all. As a longstanding city employee, his experience and broad perspective is meaningful in helping the city create a more equitable workplace for those currently employed and for the staff to come. I am proud to say that this no longer unsung hero often seen standing silently in the back of a room, either behind a camera or inside the video booth in council chambers, is finally getting his just recognition. Though most residents may never know his name, they have Paul to thank for helping keeping them in the know. I'm happy to know you, Paul, and grateful that you're a member of the city's communications and community engagement team. Thank you for all that you do in supporting your team members, city departments, and those we serve throughout Farmington Hills. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am so nervous, though. But I wanted to thank Vicki, our director, and I also wanted to thank my boss, Jennifer, and my coworker, Jacob, and the whole communications team. Everybody makes it fun to work here. It's a great place to work. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
And now it's my honor to bring up to the podium our Assistant City Director, Karen Mondora.
I'm Assistant City Manager Karen Mondora, filling in tonight for Tom Scribola, Director of Finance, who's unable to be here this evening. So I am honored to step into his shoes tonight and recognize Brant Klassen as one of the city's Outstanding Employee Award winners. Unfortunately, Brant also can't be here. I'm getting a complex. But I'd like to share a few words and accept the award on his behalf. Brant Klassen is an accounting specialist, and he richly deserves this year's Outstanding Employee Award. Brant joined the city in 2018 as an account clerk in the finance department and has worked his way up to his current role as accounting specialist. This is the top position in the accounting division. Over the past year, Brant has stepped up during a time of transition. Brant accepted important responsibilities, becoming the go-to for coordinating and producing over 100 tasks related to the financial audit for fiscal year 2022 through 2023. And he was happy and helpful throughout. Brant also spearheaded the rapid transition to the pay-meringue system that we use for fulfillment of city payables. This allows the city to eliminate the use of paper checks. And finally, by taking on the role of accounting specialist, Brant now has assumed the technical responsibilities of the controller position. Brant earned his Outstanding Employee Award by demonstrating goodwill, friendliness, a helping hand, and technical know-how for everybody across the city, including the external clients of the finance department. Brant's attitude helps to create a welcoming atmosphere in the workplace, and his teammates appreciate his proactive, can-do approach. Brant has also been a huge help to Tom during a time of transition. With his help, it has been possible to avoid unnecessary worry and be strategic in their approach to planning, improving, and conducting the work. Rather than draw on a specific anecdote to exemplify Brant's impact, I would just like to say that Brant is the same helpful teammate every day, and we thank him for it. Please join me in congratulating Brant for his outstanding performance and for his well-deserved recognition as an outstanding employee and for his commitment to the city with a round of applause. And now I'd like to introduce Jacob Rushlow, the city's newest director, who leads the Department of Public Services. Jacob.
Well, good evening, everyone. As Karen mentioned, Jacob Rushlow, the newest director here for the City of Farmington Hills in the Public Services Department. And I'm pleased to recognize this evening Barbara Smirka as our Outstanding Employee Awardee. Barb, please come up and please join me in the front. Barb serves as our Executive Secretary to the Director of Public Services, but is also so much more than what her title implies. Barb always arrives at work early, stays late, and often works through lunch or eats at her desk, so the department has front counter coverage, especially during this busy construction season. Barb is well respected and appreciated by the DPS staff, as well as every other department in the city that she interacts with on a regular basis. She has served the department under 4 different directors across a span of 20 years and is a true wealth of knowledge. Barb is highly organized, always looking for ways to optimize operations, which is critical skill considering the fast-paced dynamic and large volume of work that flows through the DPS every day. She has an amazing ability to communicate with the public, most of whom aren't contacting us to tell us what a great job we're doing today. Yet Barb stays calm and explains things in a clear and direct manner to our friendly residents before the situation can escalate. She does an amazing job. Barb is also extremely thoughtful and kind. She makes sure that birthday cards, sympathy cards, and cards for special occasions and milestones are purchased and distributed to staff in our department. She has an innate sense of reading her coworkers and giving them words of encouragement and support as a part of her day-to-day interactions with them. So over the past year, Barb has focused on 2 really massive efforts in the department. One, it's kind of been her own personal mission, as I learned when I started just 4 months ago. She'd been working on this all through the last couple of years, but converting all historic paper records in engineering, in public works, DPS, converting those into a digital format, going through hundreds and hundreds of old project files, folders, drawers, purging files, preparing them for scanning into Laserfiche. And if you've ever worked with some of our old school engineers in the department, no offense to Jim, but you know how big of an effort this was to go through. Huge undertaking, and she's done an amazing job at it. The second is the self-assessment audit that we're going through in the Department of Public Works for reaccreditation through the American Public Works Association. This is a big undertaking and a big certification to receive. Anyone who's ever done a thorough, comprehensive policy and procedure review knows that this is an extremely difficult task and time-consuming to complete. This effort would not have been successful without Barb's hard work and tireless dedication. Barb's efforts truly go above and beyond in every aspect of her work. She's an enormous asset to the Department of Public Services and to the city altogether. So please join me in congratulating Barb Smirka for her outstanding contributions and for being recognized as one of the city's outstanding employees.
I would say, wow. Farmington Hills has been an awesome place to work. That's all I can say. I've been lucky to work for 4 directors in like the last 12 years. Gary Mection, Karen Mondora, Tammy Gushart as the assistant, as the interim director, and now Jacob. So, but I truly think it's been an awesome place to work, Farmington Hills. All the people, it's been amazing. So, I thank everybody.
Congrats again to Barb, and at this time I'd like to turn it over to Ellen Schnackle to give out her award through the city's Exceptional Special Services Department.
Hi, Ellen Schnackle, Director of Special Services. I'm super happy and proud to recognize Jimmy Vaheas as an Outstanding Employee Award winner. Come on up here, buddy.
Straighten up, straighten up.
We rarely see him in a tie, so you got to take care of him a little bit. Yeah, you clean up pretty well. All right, Jimmy started with the city in February of 2020 as a full-time aquatics supervisor at the Cossack Center. He was responsible for really everything aquatics, the Cossack Center as well as the Heritage Park splash pad. Supervising lifeguards, mechanical repair issues at the pool and the pad, swim lessons programs, water exercise classes. Yes, please silence your phone. In November of the very same year, Jimmy was promoted to the position of Hawk Facility Supervisor. The timing of this was key. We were knee-deep in managing COVID precautions in all of our parks and facilities, as well as repurposing the Hawk to open in June of 2021. Jimmy excels at managing both internal and external customers and juggling the many responsibilities assigned to him to run the 245,000 square foot Hawk facility and 42-acre park. He also continues to oversee all of the department's aquatics programming and services. Jimmy now manages 6 full-time staff, over 150 regular part-time staff, and I see some of them here today, and 10 volunteers. And for those of you who aren't aware, we have a really great relationship with the Farmington Public Schools. They have a program called Visions Unlimited, and Jimmy directly oversees some volunteers that assist us. This is a school, and it provides meaningful, real occupational experiences for students with special needs. So it's really great to have that group working there. Jimmy works close with them at the Hawk. As a young supervisor, and I can say that because I'm 20 years in now, goodness, Jimmy was open to learning and growing in this important management position. He's always the first to celebrate our successes and also admit his mistakes, taking the attitude, I'll learn from this, I'll grow from this, and we move forward. He's been extremely valuable in creating standard operating procedures we call SOPs for our facilities and developing training and onboarding needs. He's a big part of why we currently have nearly 6,000 pass holders at the Hawk, equating to well over $1 million in revenue last year in just pass sales. Jimmy was actually nominated by one of his employees, and this is, I'm quoting what they said. Jimmy leads by example. He drops everything if someone needs anything done, something done. He's a true leader and goes above and beyond his title. The city's lucky to have Jimmy and all he does. He's extremely helpful when people have questions, always willing to jump in when there are challenges to face. And the last, his peers know him to be calm in crisis, kind, respectful, and dependable. It's clear that Jimmy takes his job seriously and prides himself in doing terrific work. He's a valuable member of the city's special services team. I congratulate you, Jimmy, on this well-deserved honor.
So as I don't wear suits very often, I don't give speeches very often either, but I have a few notes. So good evening. To start, I just would like to take a moment to congratulate all the other award recipients this evening. This is an awesome event, and I'm just happy to be here this evening. First of all, as well, thank you to my peers for nominating me and to the selection committee for recognizing me as an outstanding employee. I'm incredibly honored to accept this award. It's easily one of the highlights of my professional career so far. I definitely have many people to thank who have made it possible for me to be here this evening as well. First, I'm thankful every day to have a director like Ellen, who's always encouraged a family atmosphere within our department. Your guidance seriously has been instrumental in my growth as a supervisor, and I greatly appreciate that and being on your team. Also, I have supportive deputy directors. First, my direct supervisor, Brian Moran, who has been a huge mentor to me over the past 3 years. Brian, having someone with your knowledge, experience, and skill set has been vital to our success at the Hawk, and I cannot thank you enough for your assistance and leadership. Also say I'm also to have great support from our other deputy director, Brian Farmer. He is heavily involved in MParks, which is Michigan Recreation and Park Association. It's our organization that provides networking opportunities with parks and recreation professionals throughout the state of Michigan. So he's gotten me involved in that, and it's only helped me advance and grow in my career as well. I'm also incredibly grateful for our entire team at the Hawk and my colleagues within Special Services. I have the pleasure of working with some incredible individuals and to get this award. there's many people that are deserving, and I'm proud to serve our residents and guests alongside each of you every day. Of course, I can't forget to thank my wonderful family, my wife who is here tonight, who has definitely tolerated my work schedule as I try to balance managing a 245,000 square foot facility with a growing family. We all know, we don't say it very often, but my wife is definitely the real MVP of the Veas household. I certainly wouldn't be standing up here if it wasn't for your unwavering support. So I just wanted to say, Harper, Delaney, Spencer, and I all love you. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
I have the great privilege of recognizing our civilian employee of the year. So we have the firefighter, the police officer, and then the civilian employee of the year. But I'm a little jealous because our Central Services Director, Michelle Aronowski, has the pleasure of having Michael as part of her departmental team. So this year's Employee of the Year is Michael Presson. You bet. So Michael joined our organization in the Central Services Department back in 2021. I can't believe it's already been that long. It's just, wow. Anyhow, as an IT or information systems analyst. Michael's journey to the city of Farmington Hills began with a distinguished career with the U.S. Marine Corps. He served honorably as an E4 corporal. And I didn't find this out till a few weeks ago, but this guy is certifiably nuts. I mean, our police officers and firefighters are crazy, but this guy was responsible for repairing and restoring wireless connections on cell towers that are like 1,000 feet tall. I mean, you've just got to have an incredible constitution to do that. I was driving across the Mackinac Bridge last week. I thought I was going to drive off into the Straits. So since joining our team, Michael has played a pivotal role in supporting over 700 employees across the cities of Farmington Hills and Farmington. And yes, we're going to get full cost recovery from Farmington. Anybody here? That's an inside joke for me and my council people. And the 47th District Court. This team oversees 200 software applications, manages approximately 700 workstations, 600 mobile devices, including mine, as well as maintaining closed-circuit alarm systems, audiovisual equipment, and our body-worn cameras from our PD. And I just want to know, is this the high water threshold since I came on board as city manager? I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, okay. Yes, Gary, absolutely. Yes. Okay. One of Michael's most significant contributions was his leadership in the recent technology upgrade of our police department. This project enhanced safety through real-time situational awareness, streamlined workflows for greater efficiency, and ensured transparency and accountability through robust data management. His dedication to ensuring a smooth transition did not go unnoticed, reflecting his commitment to excellence in this endeavor. Michael goes above and beyond whether the issue is big or small, easy or complex, or me coming down and completely avoiding the help desk and saying, this doesn't work, somebody fix it. And he usually does. It's either him or Chris or somebody else down there. They do a fantastic job. He's proactive, he's eager to collaborate with the team, he actively engages with users face to face, as opposed to a phone call or an email. And he does. He'll usually come right up. Mike's most admirable trait is his patience. No matter how challenging the matter or the situation, he remains calm and composed while guiding users through each step with precision and clarity. And in today's society where we heavily depend on our IT systems, that's a huge task. Just a little bit, I'm just ad-libbing here. I have tasked this department with really trying to push our IT infrastructure. Some folks have heard work smarter, not harder. We try to work smarter and harder. And the IT platforms that we use, software as a service, the devices that we use for our end users are all a big part of that. And you are too. Michael has shown exceptional teamwork and support. When Danny Pierce Hockey, I'm sorry, I'm seeing a repeat here. That's right, I was going to say. Last year's Employee of the Year was deployed in January of this year. He's in the Army Reserve? Yeah, Army Reserve. Michael stepped up to cover additional responsibilities on the help desk and provide on-site support across multiple buildings, demonstrating his unwavering dedication to the city. Behind every remarkable employee is a supportive family, and we extend our gratitude to Michael's wife, Beth. Hi, Beth. Got to meet them this evening, and their children, David and Zoe. Hi, guys. And two adorable dogs. We love dogs, Leah and James. I love how you gave real names to the dogs. It's great. For their understanding and encouragement. Michael has not only been a cornerstone of our IT team, but also played a key role in providing invaluable support, training, and leadership to our entire city. So please join me in congratulating Michael Presson as our Employee of the Year.
Congratulations.
And on behalf of your 3 state reps and 2 state senators, thank you so much. I promise not to call you if my laptop goes on the fritz. You clearly have better things to do. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. I got it, Chief. It's not 15 minutes, though. Sorry. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to receive the Employee of the Year award. I'd like to say thank you to the IT team and the other members of Central Services. Both Jack and Michelle have been very kind and supportive of me since I started working for the city. They have created an environment that has allowed me to grow as an IT professional and realize my potential. My fellow IT analyst 1, Jen, has been beyond helpful, and I feel she deserves this award just as much as me. She's my main go-to when I can't figure something out, pretty often. I feel very lucky to be the main support for Farmington Hills Police Department and Fire Department. As a Marine, it feels good to be surrounded by very like-minded individuals. I also want to thank my wife, Beth, and my 2 children, David and Zoe, for coming and showing me their support. I'm proud to be part of such an exceptional organization that makes me feel so valued. I look forward to continuing to contribute to our team and to the city of Farmington Hills. Thank you once again for this honor.
Vicki says that's it, so everybody go home. No. So that's the end of our program, and I want to thank everybody for coming.